Stop staring at the empty screen. You are not starting from zero. You have a world inside your head, just waiting to be built. Video games are not just code and pixels. They are destinations. They are places players want to explore, get lost in, and remember long after they put the controller down. You want to build one of those worlds. You want to create a place that feels alive, a digital space with a story to tell. Many aspiring developers get stuck here. They believe they need a massive team or a Hollywood budget. That is simply not true. You just need the right tool and the right plan. Godot is that tool. It is a free, open-source game engine that punches far above its weight. Think of it as your personal digital workshop. It is small enough to download quickly, but powerful enough to bring your grandest visions to life. The community is vibrant and supportive, a global team of creators ready to share tips, assets, and encouragement. We are going to use a simple, effective structure to get you from idea to reality. Hook, teach, build first. We will hook you with the why, the potential that Godot unlocks. Then, we will teach you the core principles of world building. Finally, we will give you a clear path to build your very own immersive environment. Forget the idea that you need to be a master programmer or a professional artist to begin. Godot's editor is designed to be intuitive. Its node-based scene system feels like playing with digital building blocks, making the entire process approachable. You can create complex behaviors without writing a single line of code using its visual scripting system, or you can dive into the easy-to-learn GDS script language when you are ready. This guide is your map. It will break down the seemingly monumental task of world creation into simple, manageable steps. You will not be guessing. You will be building with purpose. This essay will show you how to stop dreaming and start doing. We will move past the technical jargon and focus on what truly matters, creating an experience. Every great world, from the sprawling fields of Hyrule to the claustrophobic corridors of the Sevastopol station, began with a single, powerful idea. Before you place a single tree or texture, you must plan. Your most important tool at this stage is not Godot, but a piece of paper or a simple text document. The first question you must answer is about mood. How do you want the player to feel in this space? Do you want them to feel a sense of wonder and adventure in a bright, magical village? Or do you want them to feel tense and cautious in a dark, forgotten catacombs? Write down 3 to 5 words that capture this feeling. Mysterious, peaceful, ominous, joyful. Once you have established the mood, you need a core concept. Boil your world down to a single guiding sentence. This is your design pillar. For example, a forgotten clockwork city, slowly being reclaimed by a magical forest. This one sentence gives you everything. It informs your art style, your color palette, your sound design. This pillar prevents you from getting lost in details that do not serve the main idea. It is the North Star for every decision you will make, ensuring your world feels cohesive and intentional. Now it is time for a map. Do not panic. You do not need to be a cartographer. Just draw a simple, rough sketch. Think like a theme park designer. Where does the player enter? What is the first thing they see? Place your key landmarks, or weenies as Walt Disney called them. Tall towers, strange statues, glowing portals that draw the player's eye and guide them forward. With your blueprint in hand, it is time to open Godot and start building. The first step is to create your foundational assets. These are the puzzle pieces of your world, the character models, the sprites, the textures for your ground and walls, and the sound effects that will make it all come alive. You have 2 choices here. Create them yourself using tools like Blender or Krita, or find them online. For your first project, do not be afraid to use free assets from sources like the Godot Asset Library, kenkenny.nl, opengameart.org. The goal is to learn the process, not become a master 3-dimensional modeler overnight. Focus on finding assets that match the style defined in your plan. Now, you can begin to construct the scene. Follow the big to small rule. Start by blocking out the largest forms in your world first. In a 3-dimensional scene, this means laying down the ground plane, raising mountains, placing the main buildings. Use simple, untextured shapes, often called gray boxing, to establish the scale and layout. This allows you to run around your level and test the flow and sight lines without getting distracted by pretty textures. Is the village square big enough? Can the player see the wizard's tower from the starting point? Fix these major layout issues now, when changes are cheap and easy. Once the blockout feels right, you can start swapping the simple shapes with your final, detailed assets. Replace the gray cube with your textured house model. Replace the flat green plain with varied terrain and patches of grass. This is where your world starts to gain its personality. As you place smaller props, barrels, crates, benches, lanterns. Section 4. The soul of the scene. Light, sound, and life. A perfectly modeled world can still feel sterile and dead without the right atmosphere. Lighting and sound are not afterthoughts. They are the soul of your scene. Start with your primary light source. In a three-dimensional outdoor scene, this will likely be a directional light 3D, which simulates the sun. Adjust its angle to create long, dramatic shadows for a sunset, or position it directly overhead for a harsh midday look. The color of this light is critical. A warm yellow tint creates a welcoming, cheerful mood, while a cool, pale blue light can evoke feelings of coldness or melancholy. Use this to reinforce the emotional tone you planned from the start. Next, add local lights to bring your scene to life. Place omni-lights inside lanterns or spotlights to cast focused beams from windows. These secondary lights break up the visual monotony and create pockets of interest for the player to explore. They guide the eye and add a tremendous amount of depth and realism. In two-dimensional work, you can achieve similar effects using light 2D nodes and clever texture work. Do not forget to add ambient sound. Even a simple, low-volume track of wind-blowing birds chirping distant city noise instantly makes a silent world feel more believable. Layer this with specific sound effects, like a creaking sign or a crackling fire, to reward players who stop and listen. With atmosphere in place, it is time to add interaction through scripting. Immersion deepens when the world reacts to the player. You do not need complex AI systems to start. Use Godot's scripting capabilities, either the beginner-friendly visual script or the powerful GD script, to add simple life to your scene. Make a door that opens when the player approaches it. Section 5. The final Polish testing, optimizing, and perfecting. You have built your world, lit it beautifully, and added sound and interaction. Now comes the phase that separates good worlds from great ones. The polish. The first step of polishing is to playtest. Playtest. Playtest again. And not just by you. You know where all the secrets are. You need fresh eyes. Ask a friend to navigate your scene and simply watch them. Do not give them any instructions. Where do they go first? Do they get stuck on any geometry? Do they notice the little stories you have hidden in the environment? Their confusion is your to-do list. Their pathfinding will reveal flaws in your layout you never saw. As you test, keep a close eye on performance. An immersive world that runs at 15 frames per second is not immersive at all. Godot provides built-in tools to help you. Use the debugger to monitor your frame rate and see what processes are taking the most resources. Are there too many lights in one area? Are your models too detailed for their distance from the camera? This is where optimization comes in. For three-dimensional scenes, implement level of detail. Combine multiple meshes into a single one to reduce draw calls. In two-dimensional work, make sure you are using tile maps efficiently. For both two-dimensional and three-dimensional, compress your textures. A massive 4K texture is overkill for a small background object and wastes precious memory. Optimization is a balancing act. You are trading a small amount of visual fidelity for a huge gain in smooth performance. Section 6. The next level. Your journey starts now. We have traveled from a blank page to a living world. You now understand that building an immersive environment is not magic. It is a clear, repeatable process. It begins with a strong plan centered on a core concept and a specific mood. It continues with the methodical construction of your scene, large gray box forms, detailed, story-rich props, all made easier by Godot's powerful scene system. You have learned to breathe soul into your creation with the careful application of light, color, and sound, and to make it feel alive with simple, meaningful interactions. Finally, you know the importance of testing, optimizing, and polishing to ensure your world is both beautiful and playable. Let's quickly recap the 5 essential tips for success. 1. Start small. Your goal is to finish a project, not to build a massive open-world RPG on your first try. 2. Use the asset library. Save time and focus on design by using pre-made assets. 3. Name your files clearly. Rock underscore or 0.1 is better than ASDFKHAKL. Good organization is your best defense against chaos. 4. Test often and test on your target hardware. A smooth frame rate is non-negotiable. 5. Focus on mood. Light and sound are your most powerful tools for creating an emotional connection with the player. Here is your call to action, your next step.